Alright guys, to the bottom right, in the yellow, named himself after a Star Wars character from the team LGIM. He is...
LGIM YoDa.
YoDa.
With the SCV pull on game 1, deciding the map in his favor. But then his attack with Hellion Marine Medivac did not work in map number 2. Thanks to this guy. To the top left in blue we have
FXO tier.
People ask how good he is all the time, and he says, I'm FXO tier. One of their better players, in fact. Definitely a star in Team League.
Yeah, Team League definitely playing a lot of games in Team League for his team. Winning a lot of those matches. He was one of those guys that in the second season of the GSL last year was able to take down Parting, for example. He's a sniper.
Yeah. He knows exactly what builds to play him when you play him.
He knows how to prepare.
Choya calls him out at all the right moments. FX Open, a team that consistently does well in GSTL based on their decision making and which players send out in which order. And also a lot of times just because the odds are so good.
Yeah, exactly. With GSTL starting very soon, this is of course really going to be important because in GSTL it's not only about the individual class of a player but also about the team strategy that you have. And FXO always was able to just get the best scenario for players like Gumiho and Linok later on in the stage of the team match, which is why they were able to take the season once again. It's not a coincidence that Choya was crowned to be the coach of the year.
That's true. I mean, he just makes all the right choices. By the way, look at this backdoor expansion for Tier versus backdoor expansion for YoDa. This is what both players would expect to see. And this is after the gate and the barracks have been made, so cutting Marine production, cutting Zealot production, not even mining from gas until he started that Nexus, because the backdoor expansion on this map is very safe. There are 2 sets of destructible rocks on each player's base so you can get into the back, but those gold mineral patches really are worth it.
I like them so much. I really like this idea. When I saw it the first time, I was like, okay, well, this is odd. It looks a little bit odd, and I'm not quite sure if I can get used to it. But the more I think about it, the more I like it. It gives you just a little bit of a touch, and I'm not quite sure if 2 is the perfect number. This is something that we will see over time.
Yeah.
We had these attempts on Atlantis Space Bear where we had this 1 base with 3 gas, but all these things that can come into play is something that is worth experimenting with, and
yeah,
it just adds another flavor to the map.
Absolutely, it's creative, it's different,
Unique.
It's not boring, it's not flat. It's not Atlantis spaceship. That map was not my favorite. It's not Crossfire.
I rather cast the games on Crossfire than I did on Atlantis Spaceship.
Same actually, but cast them yes, but talk about the balance of no.
yeah, okay.
Ooh, look at that, going right into Robo to get good information about whether or not YoDa has a 3rd command center up his sleeve or if he's going into tech. YoDa's playing this very standard, going to Triple Barracks, getting his gases up to get that factory and to get the add-ons very soon.
So annoying now for Tia. Watchtower already in possession of YoDa, so you can't even poke in.
Yeah. Line of sight blocker plus Watchtower equals a very unhappy stalker.
Yeah. Or a very dead stalker.
Yeah. If,
One of the 2.
If you poke, you go to face check, that Watchtower things can get a little bit nasty. I wonder if we'll see Tier go for an Immortal push. I don't think so, but it's entirely possible. With the extra minerals you get from the gold base back, you can do very Zealot heavy attack.
We saw this on this map before, but I'm really curious to see what Tier's idea is. YoDa definitely abandoned the idea of pulling up the same strategy that he did on the last map last year. And
thank you. My cold just seems to be getting a little bit like slightly more severe as the day goes on. I have to get some rest tonight.
we need to get you a lot of tea.
Yeah, a lot of tea indeed. I'm gonna have a tea party at my house when I go home by myself. With my stuffed Baneling plushies.
You have Baneling plushies?
No, I don't have Baneling plushies.
You should. They're cute.
There are a lot of cool
So I heard.
plushies coming out right now. I see them on Reddit.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
enough about the plushies.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about the double research by the Liz.
Exactly.
This is indicative of a very aggressive attack.
Yes, we have the triple barracks, and we have not only one reactor. He's going for the double tech lab, which allows him to get the stim and the combat shield at the same time. Tia, on the other hand, with his base that he has built him on an expansion as well. We have him now with the first few immortals and also the sentries that he needs to shut down aggression. He saw what's going on here, and the observer actually moving away just in time so that YoDa does not dare to scan. He's like, well, I might be able to kill the observer, but I'm not quite sure if it's actually going to work out, so let's better not drop the scan. Scans ahead and wants to have a quick look of what exactly is going on, and now we have YoDa going for this aggression.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for this attack with the extra minerals he has from the gold base. He'll get a lot more firepower out of the Marauders, so he's got extra Marauders, he's got double upgrades. The thing is, how much is he really going to commit now that he's scanned? He's seen that Tier's playing safe. He's getting his upgrades. He's getting into medevacs. He doesn't actually have to commit heavily here. He could just use his Bioforce to hold the third base.
Snipe the observer, saw it scanned and took it out. So this is why we have a second observer being built for Tier. He wants to have at least one of those guys around to know when exactly the Terran player is going to move out.
Or YoDa.
It's actually Tier.
Yeah, Tier is going to be the first one who moves out here. This is not what I expected to see.
Well, YoDa, you know, YoDa poked a little bit, but he scanned ahead and he had a quick look at what exactly was going on. He saw all those gateways and he was like, okay, well, I'm not quite sure. For what we've seen so far, he's probably going to be the one being aggressive here, and that's exactly what happens. Tier is now on the move, teching it up with a Robo Bay behind this, but this is the immortal push that we've seen on this map in Codes.
Yeah, no high ground vision just yet. The observer is on the way now. He's got it, so he could back off and try to pick off units by the edge. That's what he does. Great force fields here.
Really good force fields, trapping all those units. Nice targeting also with the immortals, taking down all of the Marauders that he trapped. Very well done. Tia, look at that, taking a supply leak here, and he can start to take down those supply depots too.
Yeah, he's just got to be very careful not to overextend. There he goes. Pokes up, starts shooting at those depots. Nice, and then if he can take out these depots, then he will supply block YoDa, make it so that he can continue to produce units, and YoDa cannot.
Nice how he pulled the observer back when he saw the scan. It was the first reaction. He knows that he needs the observer to have the high ground vision here, so nice reaction. Here's the supply block that we talked about. Another scan. Here we go. He takes on the observer, but the army's already on the high ground.
Not all these units able to fire, and a great concave for YoDa, even with the force fields. And now we have medevacs here, so I think Tier is going to have to get out at this point. I'm not sure how much he can actually stick around. He's getting forged. He's got a third base. He's going to set the soft containment with the drops out. He's got to be careful. He does not want to let his opponent escape.
High ground vision is lost, but he's moving up the ramp once again, and he drops the force fields. Here come the SCV trying to lend their strength to the defense. Tier still in the supply lead, looking at a very decent harvest account with 53 to 42 now.
He's just repeatedly taking better trades while now he's starting his upgrades, getting his Colossi out, but Vikings are already on the way.
Third base. He's going for the third a lot faster than YoDa.
Yeah, YoDa doesn't even have third command center made just yet. He's trying to add another barracks. He's being very aggressive, and also, well, he's going to have to be very aggressive as a result, but that barracks, I feel, was added defensively because he was in a dire situation. And that base at the back for YoDa is just not going to last forever. He lost a lot of mining time. His economy is hurting, whereas Tier is just growing. He's at the beginning.
And the thing about Tier is at this point that what he could face is Goblin. The medevacs are out now, so this is one of the chances that YoDa has to put a bit of aggression towards his opponent, trying to drop into the main base and dominate the game a bit. But even the scout has been taken out here. He doesn't really know what's going on here. He will have to use additional scans if he wants to know what's happening here. But he also has to save up some scan energy to scan forward if he wants to put his army into position, so that he doesn't walk right into a trap. And Tier, with the double upgrades, with charge, the better economy, is going to be very scary to face if YoDa waits too long, because YoDa doesn't build a third base.
Exactly. I think what we're going to see is that double SCV pull. And YoDa is going to have to try to hit before 2-2 is done. He wants to get as many Vikings out as possible from his second sub before this happens. We've seen this build over and over and over again. When a Terra player gets behind, he goes for that push because it's still very strong if you can get that army supply up.
It's crazy strong.
You know, if you're hurting an economy, it doesn't matter if you can build that better army. There's always the timing window. Always.
And the thing is, what you need against it, or what's the best thing that you can have, is area of effect damage. Preferably Storm. And he goes into the Templar archive now. Will he get those upgrades in time? That's the main question.
Yeah, because, I mean, for example, the Immortal he's making right now is not going to be as useful.
But on the other hand, the same goes for the Vikings. We have 5 Vikings already, and he's getting another 3. He will probably even continue the Viking production, and there is only one single Colossus out there. So the Vikings won't really be of too much use.
I'm with you on that. He's actually making 3 more of them at a time. But still, no Storm Research, no Templar. He starts +2 for the armor. He's already got +2 weapons on the way. So this is the timing window that YoDa now has. It begins here, and where will it end? The SCV pull is on.
Yep, here we go. Exactly as expected, exactly as seen earlier today. He's pulling the SCVs. We had him with the same strategy in game number 1. This is the 3rd game. This is it. Who's going to win this? Who's going to advance to the 2nd round of Code 8?
Army supply very similar for these 2 players. That upgrade is so critical. He's even pulling some probes here. He wants to be able to help out with those. He's got to make sure he does not use his force fields against himself.
It is on, and the Vikings, they won't be able to do too much. The Colossus is gone, and here come the force fields. Nice force fields, grabbing a lot of these units.
Do some extra damage from behind. Even the Archon joins in, but a good flank, and the Vikings actually get the surround. Can YoDa push through? Some more charge zealots coming through. The Immortals are actually so helpful, but the flank is good. It looks like YoDa may have done it.
The Marauders flanking too, still elite in overall supply for our Protoss player. He's trying to pull it off, but the army supply, that is the big problem. 65 for YoDa and only 25 for Tier.
He just got way too much army.
He just warped these units in a second ago. He's on cooldown. He can't warp in anything else. And another stim, but it doesn't matter anymore.
So low on hit points, but still so high on damage. YoDa retreats here, microing back into probes. His life depends on it. Chasing them down now. Even the Viking lands once more. Tier, look at those 2 upgrades. Those were his lifelines. If he could have waited just a few more seconds, he would have had them. YoDa hits the perfect timing here. The game is not over yet. Tier is still trying to hold on. He still has some economy left, but I just feel like YoDa has too much. He's snowballing this, and now he's starting to take out the production facilities.
YoDa is doubling the army supply of Tier now, and Tier is moving in, charging in, but all those units are healed again. The medivacs still have a little bit of energy left, and here comes the Protoss player, but the stutter step is good, moving into the choke point position, using the range advantage, and he is taking Tier down, or is he?
Yeah, it looks like he will. There's just way too much DPS here. The Archon's trying the hardest.
Though. Is he able to pull this off?
Oh, it's so close. The medivacs grab energy counter!
He couldn't pull it off!
Oh, he needs to target the Marauder. He does with the dying breath of that unit. Right now, the worker count 24 to 3. He's mining. YoDa is making 1 Marine at a time. He needs to take out that pylon. Oh, he needs
24 harvesters against
Archon
3.
going
The
down
mules
here.
are there.
He just doesn't have enough production. He needs to fight with his probes. He warps in the Zealot as well. If that pylon goes down, I think it's going to be game.
He chrono boosts everything here. He's trying to find another few units. 5 Marines, 2 Marauders.
He warps it away from the army this time a little bit with that Zealot. He needs to fight the Zealot with the Archon, though.
He uses the sentry and the probes. He's going in with the
More
probes.
Zealots. Can Tier actually pull off a miracle
The Archon has to slim down. He's way too fat.
The Archon is going to the medivacs.
And he's getting them. He's getting 1, 2, 3. Taking down 3. Tier could actually win this.
Another gateway is cancelled, in fact. He wants the minerals for something else here. He makes another High Templar. He needs a second one. Zealot warping in here. High Templar comes in, he feeds back, not too useful though.
Well,
second
no energy
Templar,
left.
Yeah, second Templar becomes an Archon. And has he done it?
I think he actually did it. Where is the second Archon? He needs the second Archon, and he's going to move in. The Archon is going to move in. We have 3 harvests against 15. Of course, the mules also.
There are
a little bit of an advantage
though,
here.
and he's going for the probe line. There's a rally across the map. This is the power of mules. Tier needs to take these Marines out. This is so crazy right now. The Marines at 1-1. The Archons, of course, at 1-1 as well.
The Archons are not fast enough. They're trying to move in, and they take down the medivacs.
This is critical. He needs to keep those probes alive, though. He's losing a lot of them. And right now, the probe count is 8 to 3, but with the mules, this is looking better and better for YoDa.
He needs to build probes again. He can't just rely on units at this point.
He only has 52 minerals. He can only make 1 more probe. 2 Marines killed the last probe that was at the base, but where the gold was.
I think YoDa has finally done it.
You know, I thought so earlier too, though, but I think the thing is now he consistently has production and he's stopped his opponent. He's killing the Templar Archives. All these Marines stim, though, down to low hit points.
Yes, true, but we still have the mules. And the mules are his main advantage. The harvester count for Tier is down to 7.
And another thing to remember here is he killed the Templar Archive, so the 500 gas for Tier is no longer really useful. I mean, he spent all the gas he could, And now he lost his Templar Archive. He can't use it. Now he's 181 gas left. The medevacs are coming out. They're going to heal these Marines, which are all, by the way, down to about 10 hit points each.
I think that's a wolf.
I think so. He's just got too much.
Two Archons. This is too much by now. It was an amazing hold. And what a fight. But now it's just too much. This is something that I don't think the tier can bounce back.
YoDa only has a few SCs, but he's got that gold mining, and he's got 2 orbitals. So he's got double mules.
And he's producing harvesters again. No, Tier's back to 10. He's to 10, gonna be up at 12. He needs mining. Maybe if YoDa gives him too much time.
Yeah, but the thing is, as soon as he moves across the map, I feel like he can take it. There's not even that much production right now for Tier. All of his gateways, for the most part, are unpowered. He's holding on for now, but as soon as YoDa realizes, wait a minute, you just don't have that much stuff, I'm gonna move out and kill you.
YoDa's army is healed now. His Marines are healed, and this is the point in the game where he was waiting for.
He's moving out with just a few Marines, though, and this amount of Marines could actually be handled by the army that Tier has.
That's definitely true. And let's not forget that the only person in this game that is currently building harvesters is still Tier, so his economy is getting better and better and better. If YoDa waits too long, Tier might have enough.
But the composition is still much better for YoDa as well. He needs to rebuild a Templar Archives, for example, or get those forges back powered.
Yeah, he needs time. He just needs time, and it would be a huge mistake of YoDa to give him the time that he needs.
Drop is loaded up. Not a lot of energy on this medevac. YoDa with those mules, though, is mining so much better still, even though it was 14 to 3 harvesters right now.
And he also, well,
there's not a lot to kill here in the main base. He's got a few gas probes he can kill. But he's out of position.
Going for it now.
Tier's out of position. He gets 3 probes here.
He's going to get a lot more.
He's so scared. You see, he's being so cautious. He's going to go for the assimilator. Every single unit counts right now. But during this, YoDa's going for the attack at the main base. So Tier is going to come back into the main. As soon as he gets there, the drop is going to pick up, and then the rest of the Marines are going to kill him, and I think that might be game.
The main army is moving into the 3rd. He's going in there right now, and if he kills this, then I feel it's going to be
It's the only Nexus that has a lot of minerals left.
That's exactly the situation that we have, and he takes down the harvesters, the probe trying to run away. Here come the Archons, once again trying to move in. The army supply, it's just not good enough. 16 probes, but there's nothing to mine anymore. Not enough, at least.
Not enough, and this is again the power of mules. That's what we're witnessing here. The power of mules, great control, and bio. It's so hard to make a composition that works when you don't have that Templar Archives anymore. Robotics being remade now.
He's even restarting his tech at this point.
I don't blame him for trying. He's going to have to use perfect force fields here. There's not that many medevacs. There's 4, one of them completely out of energy. That's what this barracks is here for. It's to spot and to tank a little bit.
And he's going to just kill the rocks, opening another path. He welcomes his opponent's army right at the choke point. And here we go. He's going to target them any second. This is just too much. Way too much firepower. And this is game. Here comes the Mana Mule. GG!
Tier, man, almost pulls off the miracle, but at the end of the day, YoDa does it.
What an effort. A for effort for Tier. Sad day for him. He's back to Code B, and of course, congratulations to YoDa advancing to the 2nd round of Code A.
Yep, another Terran player to advance. Terran players everywhere hoping that more Terrans end up in Code S. But Tier, this was his last chance at Wings of Liberty. It was his only try so far, and he will find himself back in the qualifiers next season and the first season of Heart of the Swarm. Tough run. It's so frustrating to lose, not only today, but in any of our round of 48 days, because this is the last Wings of Liberty season, and you're practicing Wings of Liberty only, Wings of Liberty, Wings of Liberty, Wings of Liberty, Wings of Liberty. You lose, that was all for nothing. I lost, now I gotta go play Heart of the Swarm. Not the case for YoDa, though, as he will advance here, but what a tense game, and you gotta hand it to Tier for really sticking it there in the end.
Definitely. I thought he was dead when YoDa moved into his main base, and then with his mic he was able to pull back. The Archons killing all those medivacs, and for a few seconds it really looked like maybe he could pull off a miracle.
The gold base,
but that would have been asking too much.
Yeah, there are a few mineral patches left in that gold base. He had the mules. The mules allowed him to make Marines. He already had the medevacs, so he just needed to wait for some energy. He lost most of them.
Yeah,
once he started remaking the medevacs, though, and he killed the Templar Archives.
Just mules in that scenario are so strong, and you can really feed off them. You don't have to produce any SCVs. You can solely rely on the mules. Your opponent has to build up his harvest account. And it was really crucial when YoDa was able to move in and take down the additional probes that were left. Because how many did we have when the thing started? Like 23 or something like along those lines. If he can then force YoDa back and saturate all 3 bases with the mineral patches that were left, then suddenly he has the better income, even though there are mules in the game.
Of that size, it's a pretty big map. There's a lot of time. Yeah. If he keeps the Temple Archives alive, for example, get some more Archons in there.
A lot of ifs, but in the end, YoDa proves to be the better player today, advanced to the second round of Code A, and Tier, sad day for him, he's back to Code B now, has to requalify next season.
He made a great showing, though.
Yeah,
great
definitely.
defense, and, you know, I was really impressed by his play again. I can't say it enough.
Yeah. And it was very entertaining as well. So a great show from these 2 guys. That was our last best of 3 of the day. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a quick look at the results of today's matches. Not only the early group, but also, of course, our second set, where a lot of EG players were not too happy with their results. It was a little bit unfortunate, but before we head into the afternoon games, let's have a quick look at our early round.
Yep, you can see Genius falls out to new players CJ Entis Trust. A little bit of an upset there. Byung takes out Finale. Not too much of a surprise. A lot of Root fans a little bit disappointed. Hero was able to take out Yu-Gi-Oh! 2-0. And last but not least, a really big upset. Avenge takes out Baby 2-0 there at the end.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. Baby not looking too good against Avenge. Great play by the StarCraft Protoss player, doing a good job here and advancing to the second round. Whereas Baby finds himself now in Code B, and they need to requalify.
Yep.
And then, of course, in the matches that we just saw, we had Yonghwa with a quick 2-0 over Reality. No problem at all for the All-Killer. Jaedong falling at the hands of MVP Lure. Our Canadian Protoss player, Hawk, was not able to best shine. The Zerg player was just simply too strong. And then in our last best of 3 of the day, YoDa with victory over Tier.
Just barely, man. Cutting it out over the end with his lazy boy push. Let's check out tomorrow's games. We have another double header, as they call it now. Starting off with First versus Labyrinth. Then we have Flash versus Sola. Followed up next by Dream and Maru. Maru back in Code A. And of course, the last but not least for the morning session, it's Happy versus Killer.
Of course, also tomorrow, a second set of 4 games. Here we go with Beyond versus Revival. Revival looking very strong in Pro League these days, blooming on the rule of EG. Can he win tomorrow? Center joining Quantic, and he is up against Seed. Bial has to deal with Effort in a ZVZ, and then we have Sue versus MVP in
I mean, look at those names, and then look at the floor, and look at those names again, and then look at us, and realize that tomorrow is going to be another awesome day of matches. I mean, today was pretty good, but tomorrow it feels like it's going to be even better.
I was actually thinking you were like, and then look at us and realize that we're wearing weird clothes. But that's also
That's
true.
all some of you could realize, I feel, if you looked at us long enough.
Yeah, but just if you look very closely.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, you know, this checkered shirt really goes with my hair, to be honest.
I'll take your word for it. We are done for the day. I actually hope that I really get the key to my apartment, that they change the lock, and that I can sleep at home.
I hope I can fall asleep tonight.
Don't have to find a bridge in Seoul where I can get a little bit of shelter. Yeah.
I hope my cold goes away so I can have a little bit better of a voice for you guys tomorrow as well. We can hope you guys can too.
We'll be back tomorrow. I hope that you enjoyed the show today. See you tomorrow with the GSL Code A.